Hi everyone, welcome back to Get Ready with me, Louise. The lighting's bad. I know. I'm working on it. I'm hoping you can still see some of these colors as best as you can. We're going to be playing with the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette, and it looks like this. And I really think this is a very pretty palette. Do I think this is for everybody? No, I don't think her color palettes are for everybody, but I do think that if the color stories are good for you, then, you know, it's worth it. Now, this is more of a muted color story, but still colorful, you know what I mean? Like, it's a colorful palette in the sense it's not going to scare you. These colors are not going to scare you at all. You can do very simple looks. You can do very deep and dark looks. I mean, well, I don't know how deep you're going to go, but you can do grungy for sure. And then you got a bright one, and then sort of like a muted, if you did it by like rose, but you can do it however you want to do it, mind you. There's no rule on what shades to use. I did a very simple look today, just to show you that you can get a very simple but yet very everyday look out of the palette. The first shade that I started with was Tungsten, and I'm going to set this. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this drawer out and see here, because we're gonna use this here. And I really only use 3 shades, to be honest. And the reason being is I just wanted to do something very simple but pretty and colorful, but yet it's not going to cause that much attention, I guess, is you know what I mean? Like, it isn't going to be bam in your face, but yet if somebody looks at it, it's going to be very pretty, I guess is the best way to say it. Especially if, like, you do know how to do makeup. I don't know how to do makeup, so, you know, take all this with a grain of salt. But because I feel like, you know, that is a pretty look, that if I can do it as a beginner, anybody can do it. Anybody can use her shadows. And if I'm in the mood for a colorful look, but yet maybe I'm going somewhere that I don't want to say that's not appropriate, because I hate that there's like terms like everyday look and that sort of stuff. To me, it's just wear what you want. You know, if you feel good in it, then, you know, you go. But it's still colorful nonetheless, you know what I mean? It's still like a purple pink color in a way, you know? Well, it's not in a way, it is a purple pink color. So I'm going to take that same color, yeah, Tungsten, and I'm going to run it along the lower lash line. I'm using my Refa brushes, no surprise. But I do find that these brushes do really well. I mean, I can pretty much use any brush, though, in a sense. With her shadows, I've never had an issue as far as that goes. And the shadows always look very nice on my aging eyes. The next shade I'm going to go into is... Why do people do this? Manganese? Why do I feel like that's wrong? I do, though. Anyway, it's manganese, I guess. It's the darkest shade purple in here. And I'm just going to darken up this outer corner with it. And like I said, I'm not going that dramatic with this look. I'm keeping it pretty simple and pretty much to the point, you know what I mean? Because whether you go all out with this palette or if you just go very simple, the looks look very pretty. Whether it be 1 or 2 shades or, you know, 5 or 6, depending on what you want to do. I've tried it both ways, and I do like the simple route, obviously, because, well, a lot of the times I don't have time. It's sort of like this palette is one of those palettes. It's like, I like it because I have it and I can create really pretty looks with it. I can. But it's also one of those palettes. It's like, what's really special about it? And I'm taking that same shade, manganese, and running it along the lower lash line. But what's so special about it at the same time? You know what I mean? It's like, do you need it in your collection? Like, is it creating a void in your collection? And I would say in my collection, yes and no. Because the Triochromes, no, they're nothing like Indy brands. But I don't have any Indy brand at the same time either. Should I probably invest in them? Maybe. I think I do have some Makeup Geek ones. But, you know, they're out of business now, so it's kind of hard for me to use those because, you know, if somebody did want them, they can't really get them, you know. Just gonna blend that out some because I don't want to lose. And I do like how these shades kind of like lead you up to, like, you could use, I could have used that whole row and went boom, like, and kept it like light, dark, 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 dark to the lid shade. Or you don't have to. It's just really completely and utterly up to you on how you wanted to do this. And I like that about it. And I like the way she laid it out. I like the way that the color story is told. So to me, is it a palette that's an everyday palette for me? No, it's not. Is it a palette that was missing out of my collection? Well, if I didn't have it, yeah, it'd be one of her palettes missing. But even overall, it's a palette I do like. I'm going to now go into the shade Color Flip. I'm not putting nothing down. And I am going to pat it on my eye. I didn't get any fallout using these shades. I will also say that in this palette, I really don't have a inner corner. Now, I could have went in with the lightest shade in that row And it probably would have worked, but it's not a shiny shade. You know what I mean? And I like to put a shiny shade there for the most part. I mean, there's times I do put a bat, but, you know, I'm just putting my highlighter there. So I'm going to put my highlighter in my inner corner. It's the Pat McGrath Lunar Allure highlighter. And I'm just going to tap that right in my inner corner only. And I mean, to me, that's just like a regular look. I would say my biggest thing with this is the fact that it is 120, well, it's more now, I think. I think it's $129 for her palettes, her bigger palettes. And that's kind of where you have to call, is it worth it? Because it's not worth it to everybody, you know what I mean? I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill mascara. And to each is, you know, their own with it when it comes to makeup to begin with. But I do know that, you know, price point can be the overall, you know, no for people. But you have to think about it in the sense of, think about what you already own. And is it worth it from there? Or if it's a color story, because, I mean, you can pretty much tell my color story because I own so many of the same color story just by different brands, you know what I mean? So if that is your color story, then you would really enjoy it. Of course, if it's not your color story, then you don't even have to think about it. And I forgot to curl my lashes. I don't know how I do that from time to time, but I do. I forget to curl them, and then I'm wondering, why is this not doing right? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't curl my lashes. But then it's too late to do anything about it because I've already got mascara on my lashes. We'll just have to make do. Alright. I made a little mess here at the bottom. I thought. Well, maybe I didn't. Okay, I didn't. I don't know where I thought I made a mess, but I thought I did, to be honest. And then I'm just going to put the same thing on the lower lash line. The same mascara. And then for the eyeliner, I use the ColourPop. Gel liner. And Blown Away from the avatar. So that's the final look using that palette. I mean, the light's not going to really show you that much, but the lid's like a pinky purple, I want to say gold, but I think it's just more like pink and purple, lavender maybe even, depending on how you look at it. Do you see how it kind of, a little bit, again, these are not like what you see from Indy brands, so take that as it is. But that's the final look using the palette. Very simple look. I just want to show you a little bit of something about the palette, just from a beginner's point of view. That way, if you're a beginner and you're trying to decide, you know, what palette would be best, or if you already have a couple but you're thinking about these before they're sold out, or, you know, because some of them are limited edition, you may want to grab your hands on them, or you may not, you know. I don't regret my purchases. There's very few purchases I regret, just because whether it's a learning experience or it's my fault because I bought the color story, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, I'll give a great brand, Milk Cosmetics, you know what I mean? Like, their palettes are very pretty, and I'm drawn to them, some of them. And I love the design. Like, they put so much thought into the design. But when I go to use them, I'm not that deep and dark of a person, so to say. You know what I mean? I like bright and fun colors, and I think I look really mean when I put on like grungier colors that are so deep and dark, you know what I mean? So, but that's just my interpretation of myself, you know what I mean? My boyfriend says I look fine wearing darker colors, so, you know, to each their own. But that is all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all that way you're notified when I do upload. I upload every day but Sunday. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.